What's up, everybody? This is Jimmy with Trading Decoded. It is July 28th, 2025, and I'm just going to make another How I Traded SPY today video because I feel like it's been a little while since I've made one, and because YouTube, likes to punish people who doesn't do videos every day. But I don't make any money on YouTube anyway, so it doesn't really matter. With that said, you guys should buy my book. It's right here. It's a good one. You can find it on the Amazon store. There's 3 different types: paperback, hardcover, and an ebook. Ebook being the least expensive. But either way, filled with tons of good information in there that should help you if you utilize what's learned in that book to take some trades to easily cover the cost of the book. I would imagine. I don't know. With that said, today was an interesting day. I was able to take one trade today. It was a put. 20.63% return. Very uncomfortable trade. I'll explain why I did, what I saw, why I think it was a good idea, only to feel like I got lucky to have won on that trade, and therefore it was the only trade I took as a result. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the charts. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and let's take a look at what's going on here. Now, I will say this. I took the trade I took because everything felt good. It only didn't feel good and when it didn't do what I expected it to do in the time that I hoped it would do it. So I don't have regrets for taking the trade that I took when I took it. I just didn't like feeling uncomfortable while I was holding on to it. And I'll explain, again, all of that here in the future. However, today was interesting in that we started to sell off into the open. I was hoping to play calls today. And SPY and Qs were completely disconnected from each other for the most part. When they were in confluence with each other, we found some trades worth taking. I lacked the patience to wait for those types of things, although at the time I took the trade that I took, there was some confluence, at least enough for me. And I'm going to go over that here right now. So as you can see, and as you guys know, if you watch my videos, I usually do a call and put line scenario. You will notice that there is only one line on this chart today, and that is our call line. And the reason for that is because leading into the open, we were sitting on the pink line. Now the pink line in this case was Friday's high of day for the Qs. I didn't want to say if we can get below that pink line, we should head all the way down to the orange line at 567.05. We were opening or looking like we were going to open on or below that pink line anyway. And that kind of puts us in between a line of support and resistance. The first support being the pink line, the next one down being here. We don't like to diddle in the middle. I don't like to get into trades between lines. Okay. So we didn't have a put line, but what I did tell everybody is if we can pull back to resistance and ADD's printing red, then I could justify getting into puts, hopefully making it down to our target. Well, I waited not 1, not 2, but almost 3 minutes before I took my entry. I liked the fact that ADD was dumping. I liked the fact that SPY was in a downtrend, and I liked the wicks that were on the tops of these candles on Qs. Obviously, at this point, this green line did not exist yet. We didn't draw this until later when I was trying to explain why we should be looking for calls. So I took my trade. I got into the puts here, and Qs couldn't get below the pink line. Now, the pink line is the stink line. We call it that all the time because, well, it's a formidable level. You don't really want to mess with the pink lines normally. I tried to be cute. I jumped the shark, and, everything looked good for momentum. It just couldn't get through that line. This is where things started to get uncomfortable. Qs started to pull back. And I had already told everybody, I told everybody when I was getting into this trade, by the way, I said, hey, I'm getting into this trade now. I do think I like it more to the downside than the upside. I think we're going to break this support and continue down. That didn't happen, right? I was wrong, but I stayed in the trade. My stop loss on this trade only because If you look at SPY wasn't moving back nearly as much as Q's was because ADD was keeping it tame. All right. Otherwise, this could have gone off the rails really quickly. But the fact of the matter is, Q's pulled back, and I told everybody, as long as ADD is doing this, my stop loss is, because our target for calls on the Q's was right here, just above our pre-market high line. We wanted the Q's to make it up to here if we were taking calls. So because SPY was still trending down because of ADD, I held through this pullback on the Q's, again, openly sharing what was going on through my head during this whole trade. Q's, fortunately, didn't make it up to the call line, which would have been my stopping point, or to the take profit of the call line, which would have been my stopping point. It did leg down one more time with conjunction of ADD moving down. It allowed SPY to come all the way down here. I, again, was announcing the entire time what the cost of my contracts were, what they were valued at as time was passing. Once we got through my break-even price, I told everybody I'm going to put my stop loss now at break-even because I didn't have a stop loss. And then we continued to move down. Once I got past my daily goal, I tightened up my stop loss, started to make it a trailing stop, and then ended up getting stopped out during the pullback of this candle for a 20.63% win, which I think for now, or up until shortly before we got off the microphone, was the low a day for a little bit of a while there. So that was my particular trade. Quite a few people took a similar trade today, and I think they made some money. Right now, we have a win rate in the community that's not great, but that's because the chart's not great. When you have Q's trending up and SPY trending down, it's very hard to use them to help yourself feel better about taking the trade you take. However, we started to put in higher lows and develop an uptrend on Q's. While we were up here, and ADD, while we were up here pulling back to support, both SPY had put in a higher low, Q's was continuing to put in higher lows, ADD was printing green, and I told everybody right here, I said, guys, I'm not taking this. I'm done for the day. If I feel like I got lucky on my trades, I don't like to push my luck. I'll take my wins. I'll live to see another day. But this looks like a great opportunity for calls. Again, called it out loud before with plenty of time to get into the trade and said, hey, this is the A+ setup. ADD is moving up. We're trending up on the Q's. SPY's coming off higher lows. We're looking for the next resistance up on the Q's, assuming we're going to break this one, which we got to. We were hoping for SPY to get to this one here. It got within pennies of it on this particular move up. But still, great opportunity to get into a trade here, 637.58 all the way up to 637.94. Almost a 50-cent move, which pays well. And on a day like this, very few times where we had A+ confluence. This was one of those times. Then we broke the uptrend on the Q's. This was one of my favorite trades for today. Again, did not take it. I only take the ones that are marked in pink, guys. I'm usually done by 10 o'clock every day, myself personally, and usually way before then. But doesn't stop what we're looking for from happening on the charts, right? We break the downtrend. The only thing that or the uptrend. The only thing that happens there is calls come off the table. Now we're looking for reasons to take puts. Well, in this case, we put in a lower high on the Q's. I said this too. I said at 1016, guys, this is a lower high. Definitely shouldn't be looking for calls. In fact, I'm expecting this support to fail and therefore pushing us lower. So we put in a lower high here as we're coming down to this support. You even get the addition of another lower high, not just on Q's, but also on SPY with ADD no longer pushing up. In fact, it's starting to look like it's pushing down. Let's go. This thing not only broke that support, it shot straight down to this support here, our call line, which is what we were aiming for. And a bunch of people got to make some money on that quick move down. Very quick. We're not looking for a dump in the market. We're not looking for, these massive $2, $3, $4 moves. We'd love to catch them, but that's not what we do in here, okay? Why? Because too many times we get these crazy, out of nowhere, seemingly always in the wrong direction moves while you're trying to make yourself rich in a single trade. That's not the goal, at least for me. I don't feel comfortable holding my trades for very long. Like I said, this trade was an eternity for me. So just time alone made that trade uncomfortable, let alone the insane pullback that the Qs gave me to hold through during that whole time. But nonetheless, winning trade here, spotted it from a mile away, well in advance. Calls came off the table when we closed below this trend line. Lower high solidified the idea that we're more likely to move down than up. You just got to know where you're going to enter that trade. Some people get into this trade aggressively before we even break that support because of lower highs. And if ADD, in this case, is trending down, there's no reason not to consider being aggressive on your entry. Okay? Then you can take a little bit more of the move. Then we move sideways for a little bit. Again, same setup as over here. We put in a lower high. We're expecting to break this support, head down to the next support. Once again was our call line, or this level right down here. And you see it happen again, right down. Then we got into an area of consolidation. Okay, that's why this red box is here. I extended that box out because I made it abundantly clear that I wouldn't take any trades if we're anywhere near or in that box. Excuse me. Now, I get off the microphone at 12 o'clock. I stop trading after 12 o'clock just because theta and I don't want to work all day. And I don't think anybody else wants to either. With that said, lower high, ADD, we're assuming that because of a lower high, we're going to break support, not hold it. Our target is the next support down, which is right here. Again, we found this before it was a trade. You just had to muster up the courage to take the trade if you were going to do it. If you did, great. If you didn't, no harm, no foul. Stayed consolidating here, and then I guess the Democrats signed some kind of something that they didn't want chips to be sold to China or whatever. That overreacted the market, as often happens. And I reminded everybody while we were dropping, guys, don't buy the bottom. Don't try and chase this, because we've all lost our behinds chasing a quick move only to buy the bottom and watch it recover. And recover it did, right back into that red box. Now, you will see no more arrows on this chart because, yes, we were putting in higher lows. Yes, ADD started to recover. Yes, SPY put in higher lows. If you were going to take this trade, you needed to do it off the higher lows, expecting it to get choppy back in that red box, which is exactly what it did. And then, again, I get off the mic at 12 o'clock. So I was out of here at this point. And there really hasn't been much to do since then. So there's not a whole lot to talk about when it comes to that particular chart now. I wish I had more to offer you guys. I am still working on my updated version of how I trade SPY options or SPX options or futures. It's all the same. It all works the same. Guys, my strategy works no matter what you're trading, whether it's SPY, whether it's futures, whether it's the Qs, whether it's stocks, shares, options. It doesn't matter. It's price action, and it's knowing where important levels exist within a chart. You're just mating together levels on a chart and price action. Once you combine the two, they work universally on anything you're trading. I don't know about crypto or penny stocks. I wouldn't do it on those. But in general, it's a winning way to trade. Okay? It allows for taking advantage of quick moves, especially in today's market when there's not very many catalysts. The rest of this week's going to be crazy. We got a lot going on this week. Volatility is going to increase. Contract prices are going to get expensive. So just be prepared for the rest of the week. And that's that. So we're going to wrap this up. I hope you found some useful information in this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to join our Discord community, I would be more than welcome to have you. Love to have you. And I would love to talk you through some trades and help you find decent trade setups. And if you're interested in learning a little bit how I trade prior to jumping in and taking advantage of the free week that I give you, no signups necessary, just show up with your beautiful self, buy the book, read the book first, and then join us so that you know what's going on when you come in. And then you could better take advantage of that free week at that point. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. I hope you had a decent trading day. And until the next one, I love you guys. See you.